You are now listening to the Cut and Caliber Podcast.
Welcome to the Cut and Caliber Podcast. I am your host, Stephen Cornfield, here with
Kyle Redding.
And today we talk about being a morning person versus being a night person. Now, Kyle is a morning bird.
I'm an early bird.
Early bird gets the worm, man.
God gets worms.
And I'm definitely a night owl. And we talk about the famous people that have been each. We talk about the attributes. We talk about what works for us and what can possibly work for you. But at the end, stay tuned for our million? Maybe
It's probably billion.
$1 billion
A free
app idea.
$1 billion idea.
Yeah. And if you use it, just all we want is credit. And we're going to try something new today. So what we want you to do is we want you to go to our Facebook at facebook.com/cutandcaliber, all spelled out. And we want you to share the newest post. Now, it'll be about this podcast that you're listening to right now. And what we are going to do is we're going to give one person who shares that post one of everything from Cut and Caliber. So everything that we offer, we'll give you one of, and we will ship it to your house for free. Or if you're in Anchorage, we'll drop it off to you for free. All you have to do is go to our Facebook and share the newest post. But without further ado, let's get on to the podcast.
Episode 5.
Yes, it is.
Man, it's going to get up there one of these days. I can't wait.
We'll get there.
Episode 127.
Yeah. We still got 10 subscribers, but we're up there.
We're putting out content.
We're up there. Yeah. So what's this one about, Kyle?
Well, I thought this would be funny since we're kind of opposites on this, but talking about early bird versus night owl.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we would agree that I'm probably the early bird.
Oh, for sure.
And you would be the other early bird. No, you are night owl.
Very much a night owl. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in case you're wondering what we're talking about, early bird, somebody that wakes up early. Night owl, somebody that does a majority of their stuff at night.
Yep.
I think you all knew that, but just in case.
Just in case. Want to make sure.
Sure. So we thought we'd list off a couple famous examples of each of those. So for some of the early birds, we got Tim Cook, Apple CEO, up usually around 4:30. Ben Franklin, another classic.
Okay, all right.
Then you got anywhere from Condoleezza Rice, even Napoleon. So I got a lot of strength on my side. What about on the night owls?
I quickly searched night owl, and Wikipedia says number 2, Fidel Castro.
Well, he did a lot.
Yeah, he did. No, but we also got Winston Churchill, Bob Dylan, and Barack Obama is a pretty famous one.
And so I think his wife is an early bird,
right?
Is what I came across. So.
And I think you can make it work. It's like a Republican and Democrat. Like I think you can make it work if you're in marriage. You can
communication.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Communication is key.
Now here I am speaking from experience of living with a wife. Yeah,
a lot of dudes.
I'm single, but I think it's kind of cool to see Barack Obama as a night owl. I feel like I'm in good company with just him.
Yeah, it would be.
Recently saw him on the David Letterman new Netflix show.
Oh.
Yeah, I just,
and how did he
down
do?
to earth. He's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
He's a suave guy. I will give that to him.
Yeah. There's also Marilyn Manson is on my side. Which doesn't surprise me, but it does surprise me that he's on this list. Prince was on my side too. So
R.I.P.
There's a bunch more I could go through.
Sure. So that kind of brings us to the example where Steven and I have a business together, and I'm an early bird. He's a night owl. And so a lot of our mornings are spent with me sending Steven 40 text messages for him to wake up to.
Yeah. Well, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
Yeah, because I'll be like...
He'll text me at 2 a.m. when I'm getting ready to get up in a few hours.
So crazy to me.
And then, so a lot of our business was done through email and texting for a long period of time,
Right.
even though we were in the same city.
Right.
So it's just to show that sometimes the communication's a key, but having different strengths, and honestly, our business kind of ran 24 hours in a way, because I had it from 5 a.m. till
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
9 p.m. Stephen had it from, let's just say, 11 to 3 a.m. So really there was only a couple hours where we didn't really have anybody able to contact us regarding
Yeah, so
anything.
I was taking care of all the China orders.
Yeah, all the overseas orders
All the
that
overseas
come in.
Oh, just tons. Tons.
Yeah, so it's, I kind of found this article that I thought we would fact check it. It's 7 differences between early birds and night owls, and I just wanted to see that if this is true. So number 1, it says early birds are persistent perfectionists, night owls are go-getters. So I definitely fall under somewhat of a perfectionist in terms of stuff. I like,
but so do I though.
Sure. Yeah, it's
like when it comes to work, or when it comes to like a design or a video I'm working on, I like all right, specifically even today, like it took me almost an hour and a half to export a video, but I watched it again. There was just this little thing wrong and I didn't like it. I had to do it all over again. Perfection.
Yeah. And I mean,
I
think a few of these, I think we're going to overlap, because I think these are very broad generalizations. Early birds wake up with a smile, night owls with frowns.
Oh, very true.
Just relating to moods.
Very true.
When they wake up.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up.
And I'm totally the guy like whistling when I'm
that's how I woke up this
so
morning
many
too.
people
My
want to
roommate whistling. Like, oh, man.
People are like, get out of my face.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yep. I don't know what it is. I think it's just
sorry, I'm interrupting, but just to start the day, you're excited about the possibilities. Is that why?
Well, I think the next one kind of touches on this. It says early birds are proactive, night owls may be smarter. And so
I kept seeing that too. Night owls might be smarter in my research too. And I never, here's the thing. Let's get deep and personal. I never really associated myself with smartness. I hated school. I hated testing.
Sure.
So that doesn't really
but then
appeal
like
to me.
Book smart, are you like, are we talking about a different scale? But I think of when it says early birds are proactive, I wake up or go to bed trying to think about what I can do in that couple hours I have to myself in the morning.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoy like waking up at 5 and then being like, I don't have to be to work or anywhere till 7:30 or 8. Think, even if I don't accomplish it all, think about all the things I could do in 2.5 hours.
Right. Now, I think that's a good point. When I do wake up early, now I don't wake up super late. I still wake up before noon.
Yep. Before lunchtime.
But I mean, there are days where I do wake up early, and if I get on to what I need to get on with videos or whatever I'm doing for the day, I feel way more productive. And I look at my watch, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's only 11 a.m. I still have the whole day ahead of me.
Exactly.
So that makes it feel a ton better. Waking up early and getting stuff done early, and then you have the night to actually be free.
Sure. Yeah, so I wonder about this because and again, we didn't do a whole lot of studying into this, but
because you don't need to, because we are
that.
Yeah.
But you run into a lot of CEOs, and a lot of them look to be early birds, and CEOs,
I can see that,
for the most part, have usually a generally higher IQ. And so, granted, this is a broad spectrum that they're probably ran this test on, but the next one I thought was ironic. The early birds like tea, night owls like alcohol.
Oh.
And so
or coffee.
Right. Well, it says according to this study, night owls are more likely to consume caffeine from coffee and cola, and they are also more likely to consume alcohol and nicotine.
Oh, yeah.
And
I could definitely see. I mean, because you're out and
Like,
about.
sure.
I mean, sometimes when you're not doing anything, what you're doing, you're at the bar,
right.
with friends or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's it.
Of course, yeah, I could see that.
It says it's related to the fact that night owls are more likely to indulge in nightlife where intoxication is prevalent.
Yeah.
So
Guilty.
I think we've all been guilty of that at one time or another. And I enjoy tea every once in a while, like switching it up from coffee. Like,
yeah, I mean, I've had tea this whole week. You know, this is actually one of my first cup of coffees that I'm drinking right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I've already had two and a half cups.
I mean, I had one earlier this
stopped.
morning, but I'm just saying, like, this is the first day that I've had coffee because I was on a tea kick for a long time.
Yeah.
I do that from time to time. I think it varies, but I don't think that really matters, and that's not why we're talking about it. Are we coming down, like, are we going to end up with this podcast being like night owls are better or morning people are better?
Maybe.
And if that's the case, then, you know, maybe we should try.
This is
now
going to start a battle.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing because we are on total different sides. You see the
you're right Twix, I'm left Twix.
Bingo. I like that. Yeah, I love Twix too.
And
so
I always leave
you.
the left one first.
Really? It doesn't
I'm
matter
left-handed,
for me.
so I open it and I always grab the left one.
I guess, yeah, of course. I open it with right. Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
more
guess
deserving.
That makes sense. He's more deserving.
Yep.
Now I lost my train of thought, but I see the benefits of being a morning person.
And I guess I could see the benefits of being a night owl, but I see more benefits of being a morning person.
You know,
and I'm going to get into
this. And I'm
this.
not going to disagree with
Right.
you on that point because I mean, just to share a quick story, there was this one time I was working at a restaurant and I would, work until 1, 2 in the morning. Some reason I woke up at like 8 in the morning, or I think maybe it'd have been earlier. And I just was like, okay, well, I got to get up. I'm going to get up and work or whatever. One of my favorite, I would say, social media people, Instagrammed, hey, if you want, DM me and we'll have a chat. I'll call you today. DM me your phone number. And since I was up early and got on that, he actually called me. And we had like a 20, 25-minute conversation, and I just kind of got to pick his brain. So I would have missed out on the opportunity if I wasn't up early. And so I mean, that's just like one example, but I do see...
And then he filed a restraining order against you because...
We didn't need to say that, Kyle. I told you that in confidence.
Yeah. Do you want to say who it was?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yes, I do. I don't know why I just said... I thought you were going with the restraining order thing.
No.
No. So his name's Marcus Troy, and he's a big style guy. He does all these really cool events. His brother is a phenomenal photographer, and they work together on a lot of things.
Right.
And so Marcus Troy was like one of the reasons why I got into blogging and wanting to create content in the first place. And so I was able to talk to him because I was up early.
Right. An inspiration to you, an opportunity got presented to you because you just by chance happen to be up early.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So, right. I do see the benefits, and I think they do outweigh the benefits of being a night owl. So I'm not going to disagree with you.
Yeah. We'll touch on that after we get through this list real quick. I thought this was an interesting one. Early birds are creative during night hours, and then night owls are more creative in morning hours. So the theory is that you are more creative on your off hours.
Interesting.
So I wouldn't agree with this because I do most of my stuff in the morning, and at night, like, I'm usually thinking bedtime.
Netflix.
Well, if I'm usually thinking like, okay, it's 9:30.
Yeah.
I have a very regiment nighttime, but
usually when it comes around 9 o'clock, I'm like, Kyle's going to
dinner.
Bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, that is me.
But like you've mentioned to me a few times, is that mornings are when you can get into a zone and knock out a bunch of work and not even realize that like you were in some sort of, you were focused.
Zone.
Yep.
Yeah. I think partially that's true. I don't know. I think
you do stuff at night though too.
I think for me personally, I'm a 50-50. I can be super creative and talk to someone over beers at night. So if we're having a beer together, we can be very creative.
Another
bounce
night
ideas
owl
off of each
trait.
other. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But I can also see waking up early, even though it's not really me every time. But I think there was a couple times where we met like at 7 a.m. some mornings. I don't know why, but we would meet at Snow City Cafe.
Right.
And I remember we were bouncing off ideas off of each other that early in the morning, and we were having a cup of coffee and some breakfast. Like, I also see the benefit in that as well.
Yeah.
So I'm 50-50 on them, and I wouldn't really say I'm creative in a certain time. I think I have to be
all around creative.
Well, I mean,
whenever.
Yeah, I like to be constantly training my brain to be constantly creative.
Sure.
I don't want to say like, well, I can't think about that right now.
I can only create between the hours of
exactly.
9.
I don't think I think that just confines you even more.
Sure.
If you put a time limit on it, like, well, let's wait till tonight or whatever. It's like, oh, you know what? It's past noon. I'm not in that zone anymore. Sure. I think that's kind of stupid. So,
well, the last one on this list is early birds love breakfast, night owls love dinner.
Bingo. Yeah.
And I'm a breakfast burrito.
I'm not.
Breakfast food is like
I love breakfast
my forte.
food, but I don't usually have breakfast.
Yeah, I would eat breakfast for all 3 meals. I could do it.
Well, is it just talking about the breakfast food? Because I could eat waffles for dinner, and I have, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Have you had cereal for dinner?
Oh,
that's when you
times,
know
dude.
that you've been to college. I think it's like when you first get out on your own, and you're like, I don't have to follow a structure.
Yeah,
I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want.
Exactly. I love breakfast food, but I rarely ever have breakfast.
Right. And it kind of talks
meal.
about that, is that early birds are up in the morning, so they tend to eat breakfast.
Yep. And I can see that. Yeah.
Vice versa. So that kind of runs you through the list. I was kind of thinking about some other things that, since I'm on the early bird side, why I would think it's better. And I think a lot of it has to do with time zones.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep. So most of our business is done in the United States. Mm-hmm. Granted, coast to coast varies by 4 hours. So even being in Alaska, the East Coast is 4 hours ahead. Mm-hmm. So when I wake up at 5, it's already 9 o'clock a.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it's already go time over there for business.
Oh, and it has been for hours. Yeah.
Right. And so that, I would say that's an advantage, because then by the time I go to bed at 9, it's 1 in the morning. Business is done for the day. The business was done
Stock market's
by
not
1
open.
o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So being a night owl, if you wake up, let's just say 10, it's already 2 o'clock there. And by the time you kind of get going, the day's winding down.
Right. If you need to contact the East Coast by 5 o'clock,
or even 4. A lot of people leave,
you only have a short time. I get that.
And so that would be my biggest deterrent from that. Not that it really matters that much, but you are capable of being in the business hours more likely.
I mean, but on a day-to-day basis, does that really matter?
Depends what you do, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're contacting suppliers over on the East Coast constantly, you better have it on auto.
Okay, if you are doing the stock market, I know guys who wake up at 4 a.m. To day trade.
Most of our suppliers are on the West Coast. So
but personally, though, do you have much talk with
personally?
Yeah,
or
on a daily basis?
No, I don't have any family over there. Anything?
Yeah.
I don't like the East Coast.
Whoa. Little background about me is I am from the East Coast.
But I do like the Cornfields. They're very nice people.
Okay.
Over there.
All right. Well, I'll give you that.
And they live next to a city that's named after me.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I was born.
Oh, you were actually born
I
there?
was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Say hi to my people over there.
Oh, okay. Because that's your people that you just said you hated. Okay, yeah. No.
We're not on.
It's coming clear.
Well, we're not on.
What you really think
anymore.
of them? Yeah. Okay. I mean, so you just gave a
I think that was my main one.
That was your main one.
Yeah. The advantages of being up early is you are up before other people are awake.
Right. And I was just going to touch on that as for night owls.
Right.
Everybody's in bed. It's silent.
Besides other night owls, I guess.
Yeah.
Are you friends with mostly night owls? Because that would kind of determine.
I would say a lot of my friends have come from the service industry just because that was my background.
So most of them are night owls.
Yeah, most of them probably night owls.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then I don't really have a lot of close people to me that are morning.
I don't have
people.
friends.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have friends.
My wife doesn't get up. I wake her up like 2 hours later.
But like any college friends?
Well, Jason, who's in Arkansas. That's a good example. So,
old college buddy of Kyle's.
Yeah. And so he's over in Arkansas, and he just had his baby. Congratulations. To him and Janelle. And so he's 3 hours ahead of me. So when I wake up and I get going for work or something at 7, we usually have a phone call. And if my phone rings, I always know it's him in the morning.
You automatically know. Yeah, it's definitely not Steve.
No one else is calling me that early. So
I get that. Okay, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I think we might have touched about this in one of the podcasts, and I touched about it in an article I just published. But the attributes of your friends kind of rub off on you. So if you're hanging out with night owls, of course you're going to stay up late and hang out in the night and maybe be creative at night. If you're same with morning people.
Yeah. I had a rude awakening Saturday night. I was out for a dinner, and and it carried on a little longer than we're used to.
Yeah.
Me and my wife are both pretty early bed people, and like I'm talking 9:30 most every night.
You guys are like grandparents
I know.
already.
And so we got out. We didn't get done with dinner until almost 11. And then we went back to the house, another house, and it was 1:00 by the time we got home.
What? You were up till 1 in the morning?
Yeah. And it really messed me up. Like,
oh, I'm sure it did. That screws your whole
because I went to bed and I was like, okay, I'm not going to set an alarm. I'm just going to let my body wake up when it wants to wake up.
That's usually what I do every day.
Yeah. And it was like 10:30 when I woke up, and I was like, okay, I feel like I've lost my day. Because I was like, oh, I'll wake up.
See, all right, that shows you how different.
That sounds early to you.
Yeah, I'm like 10:30. That's not bad. You still got time before. I think like noon. If you're up before noon, you still got plenty of time.
You've won the day.
Yeah. No, clearly. I mean, when I was in the service industry, if I was up before noon,
right,
it was a win.
Yeah, because I looked at it as, let's just call it 11, and I'm gonna try to go to bed at 9:30 the next night or that evening. I've only got 10 and a half hours to make the day.
Yeah,
and that's why I kind of always feel like, I'm already behind.
Yeah.
So
I get that. I don't know. I think as a night person, I kind of like the hustle and the bustle of the day, right? So you're kind of moving around, you're doing errands, you see people, you have meetings, and whatever. And then for me, the nighttime is like when I go in front of my computer and start to video edit or do whatever, and I can kind of clear my head. Like I've woken up. See, and I think that's another problem for me is waking up for me is a process. It's like, it takes me a minute to really kind of come to. If my phone's around, I try to not look at my phone first thing, but it usually happens. I'm going to look at my phone for like 20 minutes.
In the morning?
20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. I do that, and I've read a lot about how you're not supposed to do that, but I just say, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm a rebel.
Well, also I like to see what I missed.
Right.
And sometimes if it like you said, sometimes people get their business done early, and if I miss an email, sometimes that means money for me if I'm missing stuff.
Right. I was going to say another point that I just thought of, a disadvantage of being a night owl versus an early bird is when you're doing your work at night, you're more likely to get invited to go do something at night than you are before 7 a.m. In terms of, so let's say you have a deadline the next day. Your friend calls you up and says, hey, dude, cool party I'm going to, you want to tag along.
Yes.
You're going to have that.
Oh, you're not inviting me to a party? Okay.
No,
Sorry.
never. At 7 p.m. Lights out by 9. But you have to make a decision then to say, hey, is this work more important, or can I go party tonight? Or, you have the chance of being pulled away from your work.
Also, I mean, I would go as morning person. Meetings. A lot of people want to have meetings. Now, it does happen to me. I'm pretty good at saying no, at least Sunday through Thursday, is because I look at it as like, no, I got to get stuff done tonight and tomorrow morning. Like, I can't do anything. So Fridays and Saturdays are very loose for me. I like my weekends be a little more loosey goosey, but
people are gonna read into that.
What if they do? Maybe. They do. It's 2018. Get with it. I don't know. But then at the same time, for me, I'm looking at just personally is sometimes I'm not stuck, but I'm inside all day on my computer working on stuff, whether it's designs or whatever, and I'm working all day in front of my computer, and then someone invites me out and about for that night. And like I said, if it's Sunday through Thursday, I usually say no. But if it's a day that I'm like, I need to get out, I need to see people,
sure.
I need to, have some human interaction, then sure, that's good for me. I think you got to know your limits.
Right.
I think
I'm just saying it's harder for you because I will never have that situation. I will never have somebody call me at 5 in the morning and
that's
be
a
like,
good point.
Kyle, you know what we should do? We should
hang out
go
now.
for a run.
Yeah.
Like, that's not likely going to happen.
And that's another thing too. I feel like waking up early, you can, if you wake up fast like you do, you say you wake up happy and everything ready to go.
For the most part, yeah.
You're more maybe like you want to get stuff done. You're more productive. Like you want to go to the gym. You want to get up and get going before everybody.
I've still been waiting for that.
Here I am, and I wake up slow, but then I get to work, and then I keep working, and then it comes nighttime, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't feel like going
People
to the
don't
gym.
work out at night. That's what you tell yourself.
Well, that's what I tell myself. Like as far as like I don't work out but then I look at Instagram stories and I'm seeing all these like fit people being like, it's 11 o'clock. Fitness, it's 11 o'clock. I'm just getting to the gym because I've had a busy day. I'm like, well, now you make me feel like a piece of,
Yeah.
Like, so as a morning person, there's a lot
I think you're better set up to do that if you're a morning person.
For sure. That's what I'm thinking. I'd love to start, going to the gym. And that was one of my, goals. To touch on 2 weeks ago, one of my goals, but it just really hasn't happened.
Well, let's wrap this up. I mean, in a nutshell, you have Kyle, I'm an early bird, and Steven, who's a night owl. We've kind of listed off some pros and cons of both. I think we agree that they both have some positives and they both have some negatives, really.
Yeah.
What are you? Are you a night owl? Are you a morning person? Do you wish you weren't? Do you wish you were the opposite? I don't.
See, I do. That's another thing. I do like sometimes, but then sometimes I'm like, no. I do some of my best work at night.
Yeah.
So
I think marriage will change that in you.
And
that's another thing.
That's one reason why I'm like, oh man, like kids waking up. I'm like, ooh, boy, that's gonna be tough for Steven.
Rock your world.
Yeah. It's 7 a.m. I just went to bed 3 hours ago.
And it's Saturday morning.
I don't
fix me breakfast.
Shut up. Go
fix
back
yourself
to bed.
some breakfast.
You're 1 year old now.
Yeah, you're an infant.
You should be doing this
Fend
by
for
now.
yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we never really came to a conclusion of like which is better because I don't think
you can say that.
I don't think you can.
As we showed, successful people have come out of both sides.
Right. I think really what it comes down to is what works for you.
I agree.
Because you could be all of our brains are wired differently, but you can also change your brain to be what you kind of want. So I mean, look at the attributes of people that you really want to look up to as far as your heroes and see what they do, and maybe try some of those things. Be a guinea pig for yourself, and maybe try a different morning routine or try a different night routine. If you do have that luxury to kind of
change it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people can't help it because they have that 8 to 5 and then they have kids and whatever. So it's a little tougher for some people. But if you do have that freedom to change it, maybe try some different things and let us know what you tried and how it worked.
Yeah. And we're open to try stuff too. So
yeah,
that's the point.
I think that's a huge thing. We actually, I mean, we're going a little over and that's fine for this podcast, but we actually had an app idea. Do we want to talk about that?
Routine.
Yeah.
R-U-T. I don't know. I don't remember how we spelled it. Yeah, we spelled it wrong on purpose because that was the hot thing to do.
Google and Bing and weird words like that. Routine.
But yeah, in a nutshell, it was an app that you would have where you could
trademark.
Yeah. If anybody steals us, so help me God.
I will find you. I will find you.
No. And you can download different celebrity or popular people's kind of routines. Mm-hmm. So you have a person that you really enjoy, let's just say Oprah.
Yeah.
And you can upload her routine to your phone. So it would be like, wake up at this time, do this from 5 a.m. to 5:15.
And each thing had like a timing thing. So like brushing your teeth or like walking to the bathroom should be 15 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know if that was on there, but the idea.
I'm saying, like,
it was very structured,
very timed out. Like, so once your alarm goes off, it gives you 5 minutes. And I thought that was a really cool idea because then you could be like, you know what, Oprah had this, like, read a book for 20 minutes.
Right.
Let's delete that.
I'm going to change it to 15 minutes.
Tim Ferriss maybe had do yoga or whatever. You know what I mean?
So yeah, in a nutshell, you could kind of like pull from other people's things and make your own routine, and then you would have to buy the premium people, like if you wanted like Tim Ferriss,
Stephen and Kyle.
Yeah, those would be pretty cheap.
And then I mean, just an idea that we're kind of going back off of it. Like you could have an app, or sorry, a section where people kind of post. It's like a message board, and people could be like, third day on this routine, this is how it's going.
Right.
Added this into it. So, and it's like a constant feed of just random people that you could comment on that you don't know, but you could, strike up a conversation with them through this app.
It'd be really funny to see that and see how many people were like lying. Like they have like 75 things. They're like, I read for this. I do this. I do this. That.
Well, and then that's where the owners, us, would look into that and be like,
film it and send it to us.
No, it's like, I think what would keep them accountable is that if you had to keep your phone on that whole time, like keep the app, and it was like timing this whole thing, right? And so we would see if they left the app open for that long.
Right.
And then if they didn't, we would call them out on our social media.
At John Smith, you're a liar.
We got you, mother effer.
Yeah. No, that'd be interesting. A little too Big Brother-ish.
It's not a bad idea.
We don't have the skill set to make it.
No.
We'd have to pay somebody, and then. So if somebody's an app developer out there that hears this that says, hey,
that's just one idea.
That's one of 3 ideas we've had in a few years.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Well, cool. Let's get this wrapped up. We appreciate you guys tuning in again. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review for us, and don't forget to comment. Are you an early bird, night owl? And what would you do if you needed to switch that? So I guess we'll be seeing you next week.
Peace.